it feels so cold inside my heart tonight. Be my man is what she said. It's not just the wind that's moving around tonight, but quick and clean don't make it right.
Righto, start of the day for Ant and I, and we've called in here because I want to show you this water race because there's a ripper of a story behind it. This race here, the Australian Gold Rush started in 1851. By 1852 this was an established goldfield, and by the late 1850s water races were playing a big part in how the ground was worked. Down below us, practically every gully carried gold, the slopes carried gold and the flats carried gold, but it wasn't particularly rich. So the problem for the miners was they had to cart the gravel to the creek, and the creek was on the other side of a large escarpment, a large slope, a large rise. So no one stayed there for very long. Then in the 1860s, a party of blokes came into the area. They decided they'd bring the water onto the ground. But they found it very hard because the creek was way down below us and the gold-bearing ground was way on the other side of the rise. So what they did was really ingenious. They walked way up the creek. They probably went 2 miles up the creek till they found a spot where when they were standing, they were way above the gold-bearing ground that they were interested in. Then they turned the water out of the creek on a little rise, and they brought the water race along the bank of the creek. So they started off just above the level of the creek where the creek dropped down over like a little fall, and they brought it slowly around. And with every inch that they travelled, they were getting further and further above the creek. The creek was burning down, and this is an indication of it here. They've built this race here. We're way above the creek now, and it's practically an aqueduct. They've had to build it up to hold the water on the edge of the bank. It runs right along here. They've come along the bank, and way along here, they're right above the creek. So then when they got to the area that they wanted to work, they were still below the bank of the creek. The bank's up here, they've got the water race here, and as the ground's falling away, they've got further and further up the bank, but they're still 10 feet below this bank that they wanted to get over. So what they did, they just kept going. So they kept going, the ground kept falling away, till eventually they got to a spot where they were level with the top of the bank. Then they did a 180 turn, built the wall around, come back the other way, dug a dam, so then they had a permanent running water, and all the gullies that everyone else had left, all the flats, all the rises, that the ground was too poor to bring the ground to the creek, they brought the creek to the ground, and they did really, really well. And even though the gold wasn't particularly rich, if you were carting in a wheelbarrow 600 metres up and down a slope, once you had running water at your disposal, you had as much gold practically as you could get in a day. They were getting 5 and 6 times a day what the average bloke was earning in a week. So hats off to them working it out.
Yeah, definitely.
They run the water right along the bank, built this aqueduct style water race, went past where they were going to work, and then cleverly turned it back, come above where they were going to work, and it's a really, really ingenious solution. Righto, Ant, we'll go down and see what gold they left for us.
Let's do it, mate.
Go on, mate.
Hey, what are you? Look at that shirt.
Look at this, will you? Ant's supplied us with these. Ant and I have got. It's not merchandise yet. It's Ant's got it for herself. Hats, t-shirts, windbreakers, wind shooters, with our names on them. So we're like Bill and Ben.
I'll show you my hoodie in a
sec. Yeah, when we give us the camera, Ant, and I'll film you. Right. You're
getting
on.
Eaten alive by mozzies already, and we haven't even started. But here's the hoodie.
There's a hoodie. There's the
cap.
hat.
Loving it.
Yeah, Ant's bloody working on trying to get us some stickers. Yeah. So when you're out the bush and you've got your ute carefully tucked away, hopefully you'll have one of our stickers on the back window. So we're really pleased with ourselves.
Work in progress with the website. It's a bit harder than I thought it would be, but we'll get there soon. And this is just some test merch for Glenn and I, and then we'll let you guys know once it's all up and running, and yeah, you can check it all out online. Oh gosh.
Fortunately, we've bought Airguard, which we'll be hitting up in a minute. Yeah. Because mosquitoes from all the water. But There's that race I was
There
talking
it
about.
is.
There's the creek way down there that they brought the water out of, and it was an engineering feat to bring the water from that creek over this big rise, over that to the other side. You know, they really thought it out and put in a lot of work to get their gold. Righto, Ant.
Let's do it, mate. Let's get
Let's
into
do
it. So we're at our first spot for today, and we've come to a spot where we found a couple of little bits before, and what we're doing here, they've surfaced it back to the bedrock, as you can see here, and we are going to, there's a lot of big rocks around, so we're going to put in about an hour, and like this one, and there's some bigger ones over here as well, here. So underneath these big rocks is obviously detectable ground that nobody's ever done before, because these rocks have been here for God knows how long. So we're going to put in some manpower and move these big rocks, and hopefully we can come up with a few bits of yellow.
For sure, Ant. How long are we going to spend here, mate?
Let's say about an hour.
So what do you reckon the workload should be? 70%, 30%? Like
70-30, as in I sit around 30% and you move the rock 70.
we should do it for age, you know.
Oh, should we?
That seems first.
Oh,
but
gosh.
anyhow, no, we'll go 50-50 on these stones,
Yeah.
50-50 on the gold.
That's it.
And see how we go. And the gold might be easy to split because though if you Google in 0 into 0,
That's an easy one. I don't need a calculator for that one.
well, mate,
Let's do it. Let's
while
get
we're
into
talking,
it.
we should be working.
That's it.
Good luck, Ant.
Let's do it, mate. Cheers. You on already, Glenn? What do we got?
Well, Ant, I've had our first find for the day. You know how you always wear gloves, or generally wear gloves. And I
Always
don't.
wear gloves.
Yeah,
and you
always
don't.
wear gloves.
I always say you should, but.
Well, I've put my hands under this stone here because we're shifting these stones like you were telling me before.
Oh, jeez.
And there's the scorpion right there.
Which is exactly why we try and wear gloves.
Yeah.
Luckily,
So-
he didn't get you.
Lucky he didn't get me, but I'm still going to try and let him get me just to show you how dangerous it is. Now, there he is there. There's his tail.
Yep.
There he is.
He's getting ready.
Now, he's got to come out of there, so Anne will pick him out now.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
bare hands. Wow, there we go. This is the second scorpion we found in this area. So, you know, there are these creepy crawlers around. There could be a few snakes as well. We're getting into summer now. Started. Well, it's not
When
summer
I was
yet,
born, they were worried that I was part animal because I had bare feet. Right, Ant, get back to it.
Let's get back into it.
Everyone loves a dad joke.
Sure do. There we go. Glenn safely got him out on the.
We're going to
That's big.
relocate him away from where we're working.
Yeah.
We try not to intrude onto nature or anything else.
That's a better angle. There
Yeah.
it is.
So there he is.
Good man.
I won't accidentally drop him down Ant's rubber boot.
You better not.
You got him, mate?
Yeah, I got him.
Oh,
I'll
put him up there
over
somewhere.
here. Just out of our way. Good boy, Mr. Scorpion. Set you down over here. There we go. He's all right. See you, mate.
Just a quick one. We're shifting these rocks, and you might think, what a pickle and peanut shifting these rocks for? Well, here's one that I'm about to roll over, and that's the area that it's covered. So when that's laying flat, your detector's up here, you've got 10 inches of stone between you and any potential signals. When you shift out of the way,
And it's nearly the size of a pick.
Yeah.
As well. Like that's a big area.
so there's
And look at that
the
beautiful
mudstone
ground.
there,
Yep.
but that there, those pockets are where a bit of gold could be.
Yep.
And that's what we were aiming at this morning.
That's it.
We won't get rich, but if we get a little bit of gold each, we'll
We'll be
have
happy.
done our job.
Yep.
Righto, Ant.
Let's get back
So
into
that's
it.
what we're into.
Beautiful. He's running.
Righto, here's another reason why Ant wears gloves. We've got a big centipede here. He's going on the ground. It'd be a shame because I'd like to show you how big he is. There he is. There he is there. He was under the stones. They've got pinches on their tail. All he wants to do is get away from us, so you'd be terribly unlucky to get bitten by him, but maybe if you stuck your fingers in and put them on those pinches, that's what would happen to you.
Yeah, not nice.
So, down there, mate, you get on your way, and we'll take your gold.
Going.
Righto, Ant.
Let's do it.
Ant and I have been shifting rocks off this grassy slope, and now, because the area is so small, it's one bloke's turn to detect until he gets a piece of gold, and we say piece of gold in inverted commas.
And fingers and toes crossed.
So Ant's been going for about 10 or 15 minutes, and we've got our first signal for the day.
Just in this little hole here.
So Ant, tell us all about it, mate.
Well, as Glenn said, we've just been clearing this little slope here. We moved all the big rocks off, and now I'm just detecting this and come across this signal here.
Now that's not as loud as it was when you've dug that out a bit, haven't you?
Yeah. This I had a little signal, and I dug this out.
And we've had a few false starts too, you know, with little tiny hot rocks and things like that. This is the first one that we've
sounds
turned.
Quite nice.
Yeah,
it sounds.
Yeah.
We're both pretty excited about this. We're confident.
We've got smiles on our faces.
Confidence is high.
We'd be great poker players.
Oh.
Yeah, we're excited.
Yes.
And this is what you do it for. This is what you
it.
do it, the anticipation. Look at that.
Listen to that.
People say how much we enjoy ourselves, and we bloody do enjoy ourselves.
Yeah,
you know,
sure do.
we do enjoy ourselves. So if you've joined in late, if you just come in, we've cleared the slope of the rocks. We've found gold here before. We just haven't picked out any old slope. And the reason we've found gold here is before, because the old timers worked this slope as well.
Oh, she's out.
Ant's got her on the move. And don't get fooled by the booster or external speaker. The external speaker boosts the signal up, which is one of the reasons that we use them. We use them so you can hear the signal at home, and also they
It's in their hand. Getting excited.
Yeah. Oh, mate. This will be great. The crowd will go up as well if this is gold. And just a word of warning, it can still be a little bit. You can see something, mate?
I can see it. I can see it.
Good lad. Good
You got the camera on the hand?
Yeah. Move your detector a bit so I don't make a noise on your detector.
Right there.
There he is. Oh, geez, even my tired old eyes can see that. Nice flaky bit, isn't it?
Yep.
I'm following you like a bloody cat following a mouse
happy
now.
days.
Oh, look at that.
Well, our
There it
first
is.
bit for the day.
Ah, well, that's a relief, you know.
Happy days.
We probably put in 50 minutes shifting stones. Good on you, mate.
I'll
That's a
clean you
big
up a little
thumbs
bit.
up. And the beauty of it is, we've got a fair area in front of us. So, you know, if we keep getting a little bit of gold, and as everyone knows, or 95% of us know, there are those lucky blokes that get gold all the time. It's a rare treat to find gold. Don't think that if you're thinking about buying a detector, that you just find gold, because
No.
that's not the case.
Yeah, it's
I haven't
hard to
looked-
come by.
I haven't looked at the Australian gold price lately, but it hovers around 2,500 Australian most times, might be a bit less at the moment. And it's a good reason, and that's the price for an ounce, because
That's
it's
right.
bloody hard
It's
to
rare.
find.
Yeah.
Right,
We're
Ant?
happy with that first bit down.
I
Let's
am
keep
too.
it up.
And I've been sitting here waiting for my turn to detect. So now it's my turn.
Tag,
There we go.
your turn, mate.
Good
Let's
on
go.
you, fella. Thumbs up, Ant.
Cheers, buddy.
And there it is, folks.
Beautiful.
Good on you, Ant.
Thanks, Glenn. All right, so we've tag team, and now Glenn's got the detector, and we're still going over the area that we've moved all these rocks. And this is a great example of why we're doing it, because right in this hole here was a big boulder that Glenn and his guns managed to just lift out and toss over his left shoulder. And look what we have here.
I always want to go to a convent when the nuns walk past there, say, sun's out, nuns out.
And listen to that. That sounds very promising, Glenn.
That's a definite signal. We've had a few false starts,
Yeah.
and we haven't dug any steel yet, but...
It could be. We have dug lead shot around here. So
Oh, yeah. Oh,
not
too
to
right.
say
Yeah,
it could be a bloody bullet or something,
Yeah,
but
that's right. Yeah, it's
but
not,
it's still
it's
a
not
nice
as though
signal.
we've that it's guaranteed, but
Yeah.
we're excited, but especially what would be only 2 or 3 minutes since you
Since
dug
I
that
found
other
that
one.
one, yeah, exactly.
Well, that's bloody great.
That's good, isn't it? Still in there. Confidence is high. Ground looks good. We're getting down to the good stuff.
And old Laser Eyes has got his eyes beaming in
I want to
there.
spot it first. Oh yeah, she's growing. She's growing.
Yeah. And it's getting down into the sort of ground that's laid on when they've worked it. You know,
Yeah.
it's laid on to this sort of clay type of ground. And that's why there's still so much surface here, because they've had, higher up, they've had easier, gravelier ground and they've washed it all back. But the running water hasn't been able to cope with this thick type of clayey ground, so a lot of it they've left.
It's right there, underneath that rock, surely. Where are you?
When we started with the external speakers, we were used to being dismissive of them if they blanked out a little bit with a double D coil, because when we were just using the coil and the earphones, they would blank. If they blanked out, they were generally rubbish. But now with the booster, they'll still blank out a little bit. You see something, mate?
No, I reckon it's around there.
Yep. I'm not throwing any dirt away because who knows, there might be two in there, you know.
Yep, that's
What do I see here though?
Oh, bit of
What
colour.
do I reckon.
Yep.
Oh! Look at that.
You beauty.
Look at that.
Oh, Glenn. That's a good little
God,
bit.
he's sort of fragile.
That's very nice.
There he is, Ann. He's got a bend in him, but he's there.
He's got a bend, but
Yeah.
he's definitely his size
Look at
a
that.
little bit. Jeez Louise.
You take that optimal detector off. I'll just check the
Oh,
hole.
that's going for a grammer at least. Very nice, Glenn. Very nice.
Oh, that's all right, Ant.
Yeah, it's got a bit of a bend in it, a bit of a peculiar one, isn't it?
Yeah. And as Ant said,
Very nice.
we took a big stone off here. It was probably 10 inches high, 8 inches high. It was only just sitting on the ground or in the ground. It wasn't impacted into the ground, it wasn't deep in the ground. But you couldn't get your coil, if you brought your coil over the top of it.
You wouldn't have got that.
Where he was sitting,
missed
like
out.
you saw him come out, he was sitting directly under the stone.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you couldn't detect him.
No.
Good work,
Well
Ant.
done, Glenn.
Put him in your
Good
kick,
man.
mate. We're on the 50-50 on the slope. So
All right, sounds good, buddy.
good
My
work,
turn
Ant.
now.
Yeah, oh,
Tag.
thumbs up.
Thumbs up, buddy.
And right, Ant's on deck. Good
do
work.
it.
Having a day out, mate.
Yep.
Now, if I sound a bit subdued, it's not because I'm not excited at Ant's signal. There are some blokes down the bush from us. We've got 2 little bits of gold in our canister, and we don't want to be saying eureka at the top of our voices, so I'm talking a bit quiet. Tell us what you did.
Well, you know, we're still on that same bit of ground where we're just heading down and moving all the rocks, and we've I had a little signal. So you know, this is all the soil and ground that we've been moving, and I had a little signal, and underneath was another rock. Lifted out the rock and listen to the signal now.
So it's a definite signal now.
Definite signal now.
And I know people that watch our videos, and I'm the same. I watch our videos. I laugh at the blokes that are on there. I think how clever they are. I know you have a bit of trouble with our volume, and I'll keep up talking as loud as I possibly can without having a crowd join us. But Ant's got this signal. It's gone up in importance. It's gone up in importance because obviously we've got gold, two bits of gold in the last 15 or 20 minutes here. So now every signal is exciting. This one, if it does turn into something, was a lot more smaller.
Mm-hmm.
But at least it's a signal. Slip through the grasses, you know.
Might have, yeah.
See if Ann can pin him down. One thing about this, there's no big hot rock sticking out, you know, so whatever it was, and it was only tiny, you know, because when the stone that Ant moved wasn't huge. Well, we had a brief break in transmission because we lost our signal and we didn't want to be boring you with our tears and frustration. But Ant's found him again. It was in a bit of dirt that rolled down the hill when he dug it out with his pick.
It's in here.
We were saying to each other, it was a signal, wasn't it?
Second guessing ourselves.
Yeah, as you do. Yeah, rolled away in this little ball of clay. I reckon he must be nearly on that bit of ground where you're looking at.
It's in here. Yep,
Oh,
it's in
yeah.
here.
See anything, mate?
Well, it's in this. I think it's lead.
I will service bloody well right, eh? Never mind if it is. Never mind. It just goes to show.
Yep, lead.
But the thing about this bit of lead is, it was another signal that was here. Ant plucked him out when he moved that stone. And we've got two in our canister, and it's a bloody roller coaster ride, the metal detecting.
Yep, it's not going to change colour.
Oh, well, bit of lead, bit of steel or something, bit of rubbish.
Yep.
But, there he is.
That's our third target for the day.
So anyhow,
Thumbs down on that one.
thumbs down, mate. Right, our Ant's been on the detector. It's been a little while since our last signal, and by a little while I mean on this slope. Often when you're out the bush, you can go 2 hours without between signals.
That's right.
But Ant's got a signal here.
Yep.
We moved another big stone.
Again, yeah, right.
A great
you
big
can
one.
See it.
And by big, I mean a fair lift for one man. In fact, we haven't been lifting, we've been rolling along, luckily because we're on a slope. And as you learn by experience, now I tell Ant when I'm rolling a stone down that's 50 kilos past him.
Yeah, definitely.
Still got 2 legs.
Just.
Oh, yeah, so.
Oh, listen to this.
Now that shouldn't take much digging, mate.
It sounds like
And
it's right
good
on
news
top,
is it's
isn't it?
below that bloody stone though, isn't it? You know, they've put their stones to one side, and that's what happens when you're mining. They've got to pick out a bit of ground that either they've worked or they think is barren to put their rubbish stones on. But wouldn't it be great if this stone has been protecting a bit of gold?
That's
Great
right,
for
look at
us
that.
anyhow, and it's
Look at
on
that
the yellow
nice-
clay.
Yeah.
This one shouldn't take much finding. You know,
No,
it's not
I'm expecting it to just pop right up.
yeah,
now.
it's not it's not shy.
No.
Sometimes you'll be digging a little bit of gold and you've got to be careful not to take too much dirt out.
It's already out.
It's already out, it's on the move. And will bloody pluck this out.
It's in here. Yep.
Oh, first go.
Alrighty.
Oh yeah, would
Got
be
your
nice
eyes
to
out,
see
Glenn?
that. Yeah, I know, man. By eyes you mean look through the phone and not look over the top of the phone. Put the phone towards the ground.
Oh, it's in this
Yeah,
here.
yeah, mate. I'm as concentrated as hard as you are. What, do you see something?
No.
Oh,
Actually,
it's sort of a half round thing
No,
there.
yeah, that's what it is. I thought it was a. Actually, I think it could be a. Actually, I've got no idea what it is, but it's not gold. I know that much.
Is it a button?
I don't know. I thought it was a coin, but it's
Yeah, I thought it
too.
was a coin when it first flicked over.
Like it's got all these lines here.
Oh yeah, I think it's maybe just a little bit of scrap metal in that. Like, is it a
Yeah.
bullet that's impacted on the stones?
I don't know, Glenn. But
The
it
only
ain't,
thing I will say is
it's not gold.
we've worked up and down this slope before, and then he was right under the stone. So he's not gold. It'd be nice if he was gold, but it just goes to show you, if you're in a gold bearing area, don't be afraid to shift a few dry trees or shift a few large rocks or even small rocks. But just be wary. Our scorpion count at the moment, we've seen 8 scorpions, 2 little drop-tail lizards, a leech,
Centipede.
2 big centipedes,
Yep.
a big centipede and a smaller centipede, and plenty of jumping jacks. So
Yeah. Be
if
careful.
you be like Ant, wear the gloves,
Wear
or if you're
gloves.
like me, watch where you put your fingers. Righto, Ant.
Thumbs down.
No worries, mate.
keep
At least you got a
going.
signal. Yeah, keep
That's
at it,
it.
mate. Good work.
All right, Glenn. Talk us through it.
Righto, Ant tapped out and gave me a go. Because we're so close together, it's impossible for the 2 detectors to work side by side. So one bloke's digging while the other bloke's shifting a few stones, and then we've got our ears flapping. If they get a signal, we come and film each other.
That's it.
I've got a signal, which is quite a big signal. It's even lower on the slope than we were, but we've shifted stone from it, and there's a big heap of sort of slates, and I'm not sure if it's original ground or ground that they've rolled down, but it's it's a nice big signal.
Big signal, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's,
Looks in
we're in. Whoop! There, Ant, look.
It's a coin.
Look there.
Oh, I can see it. Look at that.
Pluck him out, mate. Little thruppence, isn't it? God, he's bald.
Bald as
yeah.
anything. I can't even.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Another term of detector.
Look at it.
Yeah.
It's definitely silver.
Yeah, it's silver and English thruppence.
Wow. You can
You just see Queen Victoria, can't you? Doesn't it?
Yep,
Yeah,
yep,
just see Queen Victoria.
You can see
So
Britannia on it.
So the date would be on
The other side.
the other side, which
But-
is almost, and there would be sort of shield with a date either side of the shield. But maybe with when we put the phone on, magnified by 5, we might be able to get something. But still, it's a nice little one. There'll be lots of days you go out, you don't find gold and silver on the one day.
Yeah, exactly. Well done, Glenn.
Well, it's a start, ain't it?
Yeah. Happy days.
So we've got 2 bits of gold and a little bit of silver. Yeah.
Yep. Nice.
God, he's worn, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? So warm.
Imagine the story that could tell. You know, he's been minted and he's been a brand new coin, and all the hands that have handled him and given him to each other, and his value, and then the miner's been clinging on to him. He knew he was a thruppence, even though you couldn't tell, and the shopkeeper knew he was a thruppence.
Yeah.
And then one day he's got in here, he slipped out of his pants, and he's lost him, and he's stayed here ever since. So if you could see the date, it's a fair bit, but it's an old date because
18 something.
yeah, and very early 1800s, because when you find the ones that are of the time, you know, 1850s and 1860s and that, most of them you can see the date, even if they're 1840s. So
That's right.
goodness knows what age that one is. Good work, Ant.
Beautiful, good man.
Thumbs up,
Thumbs
mate.
up, buddy. Nice one.
Doing well. We popped over to Ant's hut, or at least I've popped over to Ant's hut. Ant was working away on the slope, and just down there where a water race run below us, there was a bit of rubbish in the water race. I've scoured through it and I've got 2 things of interest to us. First one obviously is a coin. It's an English halfpenny. I've had my forensic team go over it, and Ant said it's 1855 English halfpenny. And the second thing was a little musket ball.
Nice.
And I'm not even sure it's been fired, because you can see where it's been in the mould. You know, they had a piece of lead and they melted them and made their own balls in the mould. And he's been sitting in the mould like that. So I think he's one they've made and haven't fired. So musket ball,
Cool.
English halfpenny,
Very
not
nice.
that far from the hut. This is the hut that we showed you last time that Ant found. And that's the back wall. We were talking about last week and we couldn't find a chimney, and then it turned out the chimney stones were behind that big log over there. So it's been a pretty big operation. There's enough signals to say they lived here a while ago. 1855 ties in nicely with the gold rush. As I've said many times, started in Australia in 1851. Obviously men living here from then on. I mean, if you find a coin dated 1855, that doesn't necessarily mean that was the year they were living here. They might have been here 1865, you know. Same, pull your own change out of your pocket and look at the dates on it.
That's it.
But
still.
musket ball, bit of social history.
Yeah, awesome.
Halfpenny for Ant's display cabinet.
Cheers,
2
buddy.
bits of gold, a thruppence, and now lunchtime. So
That's it, I'm
that's
starving.
where-
Let's get into some food.
Ant's hanging out for some food and drink.
Yeah,
And
been
there's
a
nothing
great
like
start
sitting
to
in
the
the
day.
car having your lunch. Food tastes sweeter when you've got a
Does.
bit of few signals in your pocket.
That's it.
Thumbs up,
Good
Ant.
man, Glenn.
Good on
Well
you.
done, well
Thanks,
done.
mate.
Good start to the day.
Yeah, too right. A good show and tell afterwards
Yeah,
too.
definitely looking
Got a
forward
few
to that.
blokes to mention and a few women to mention, so
Yep, yep.
we're looking forward to that too.
And we've
Righto,
got
Ant.
an announcement too for our raffle.
Oh yes.
flood appeal.
Oh, that
So
too right. Yeah.
that's coming up later on.
Make sure you don't get bored and
Stay tuned
take
for
off.
that.
Righto, Ant.
All right, let's get
Lunchtime,
some grub.
mate.
Cheers,
See
mate.
ya.
Right, yeah, Glenn.
Righto, Ant. We're both back after lunch. I must admit I'm slow in the legs and tight in the, in the belly. They're feeling good. Got a signal here.
Oh, she's screaming.
Probably got a little bit too big for my liking now. But as we always say, we dig as much rubbish as anyone else. So we'll dig him out and see what he is. He's either gold, lead or gold. I think we can call that.
Still in there?
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah.
Oh, he's big enough to take a bit out and see where he is. We'll see what we got.
Yeah,
Surely that's shifted him.
Surely. Yep.
See him, mate?
Not yet. Yeah, yeah, around there.
I like how he buried himself in again.
Yeah. It's heavy, whatever it is. Well, we'll soon find
Soon
out.
find out, mate. Soon find out, yep. Rolled him out, haven't I?
I think so. It's not that, is it?
Oh, I'll be a little bit more careful this time.
We're very close.
Fell him, drop into my hand. There he is. Pull it, mate.
Pull it. Bugger.
Oh well,
That's all
they're
right.
not all gold.
That's it.
Signal where there might have been gold.
Yep. Gotta dig him.
Righto, mate.
Next one.
Thumbs down.
Thumbs down.
I'm as full as them. Ant and I are making our way back to the car, but I just wanted to show you something. When you're detecting out the bush and you get down around where there's water laying around, at this time of the year we're into spring and the sun's up and it's a warm day, and this is the sort of area the snakes will congregate. So when you're getting along the green, wet areas, keep your eyes on the ground that you don't stand on a snake. And Australia, on their tourism, they don't advertise the fact that we've got the 11 most poisonous snakes in the world. We're the top 11 poisonous snakes are Australian snakes, and we've got 21 of the top 25. Something to be proud of. If you get overseas in Europe and you don't want people to come to Australia, say, yeah, we've got 21 of the top 25 poisonous snakes in the world on the top 11, because people don't like snakes. I don't like snakes.
I don't like snakes. I can't.
Ant doesn't like snakes.
Only at the zoo, behind glass.
And if you do see a snake, I think the best way to deal with a snake is the same way that if I'm in a public bar and I see a woman in a flannel shirt, don't go near them, don't annoy them, and whatever you do, don't try and pick them up. Right, back to the car.
Let's go, mate.
I called Ant over to dig a signal. I've just dug 2 signals just here. We've shifted spots, obviously, and we're in where I found a little bit of flat gold over the road from a mine some time ago. So we've only got about an hour in our time left. So we've dropped in here to try and spec something. Now I've dug 2 coins here. Before you get too excited, I'll show them to you. They're a cent and 5 cents. There they are. When I dug the cent, I thought it was just all right. I could see it was a coin and it turned out to be a cent. So obviously when I dug the 5 cent next door to it, I wasn't expecting a gold sovereign. I thought it was highly unlikely that the cent and the gold sovereign side by side.
Wouldn't you laugh if this was a gold sovereign?
Oh yeah. I've got Ant over there because I want to tell you a story while Ant's digging this. I was at a spot the other day at the harness racing meeting, and when I was out on the track, someone said to me, "Oh, there's a bloke over there with a metal detector in the car park." So I smiled to myself because we're in Maryborough and it's as good a spot as any. The car park's just a glorified paddock. So later in the day I was walking through the crowd and I met a bloke. Bloke came up and introduced me, and we'd spoken and he'd commented on our videos before, on Ant and our videos. Ant's plucked out something already. What have you plucked out, mate?
Big witchetty grub.
Oh, witchetty grub.
You hungry?
No, not that hungry.
No,
I don't
I'm
think
pretty
I've ever
full
been
too.
Don't think you've ever been that hungry.
Well, leave that for somebody else.
So I was talking, he said that him and his wife came from Warrigal Jenny had business with the harness racing. She was there on a professional basis, but he was there just to back her up. Ant's found our treasure.
Just plucked him out.
What do you got, Ant? Don't tell me it's 10 cents.
No, it's another $5. No, we're getting there, Glenn. We're getting there.
So Ant's found 5. Anyhow, enjoyed our videos, and he thought if he was going all the way from Warragul to Maryborough, he was going to take the chance of having a bit of a detect. So
I would have done the same.
yeah, I mean, and we're all like that. The anticipation of, you know, when you're down at Warragul, there's not that very many places down in the Gippsland area that you can detect with a reasonable chance of finding gold. So he was in the Golden Triangle, and he must be lucky when he came out in the morning with his good clothes and his good shoes on, then popped the pick and metal detector into the car. His wife must be pretty easy going because she didn't say no, back off, mate. So I said to him, how'd you go? Because he said, well, fairy tale story. He said, I found 14 cents. So I was thinking of that when I was in here looking for gold, and I found a cent and a 5 cent. Now Ant's found a 5 cent. I'd have been bitterly disappointed if it was a 10 cent. So good on you. I'm glad you watch our videos. I hope you watch this one. Jenny said if she has an early night,
We've got 11 cents.
we've got 11 cents so far, so you're holding
you're
us,
three up on us.
with your 14. Jenny said if she has an early night, the bedroom wall backs onto the study wall, and all she can hear was you on the computer watching our videos, and she can hear do 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 do, which she says, if you're not interested in metal detecting, is very infuriating. So,
My wife says the same.
yeah, so thanks for watching, Corey. And so far, unless I can pluck another 5 cents out of here, you've got us covered 14 cents to 11. Righto, Ant, thumbs up, mate. So I'm not sure if I said when we were talking, bloke's name was Corey Lewis. Good on you, Corey. We understand you're just like us, and the anticipation of finding something is almost as good as finding something. I don't blame you if you were going from Warragul to Maryborough slipping the metal detector in. We've found 11 cents here so far, 2 5s and a 1. And strangely, even though we're looking for gold, and even though that we want something, a relic, we're going to stay here for another 10 minutes and see if we can top your 14 cents.
Come on.
So thanks, Corey. Ant's excited. We've got 3 coins, and we understand 99% of people that go detecting realise how hard it is, and if you find anything at all, you're doing a bang-up job.
Yeah, definitely.
But the looking is almost as good as the finding.
Yep, 100%.
Good on you, Corey. You're a good bloke.
Cheers,
Thanks, mate.
Cheers.
It's the end of the day, and Anna and I have got a little bit of gold to weigh up. We've got a few relics that we've found. We've had a lot of fun.
Ripper day.
Yeah, we had a ripper day. So we found a few things that we haven't filmed just here in the Pines. First thing we'll deal with was our last relic, our unknown relic. It had a lead end, it turned like that. We're still not certain what it is. There were some very good guesses, intelligent guesses. Dave Poulton said it may be an arrowhead, which threw me for a moment because I thought, did he mean an arrowhead that someone had made? But what he meant was, say you were shooting at parrots or something, or possums that are up a tree, they'd use an arrow like that, an arrowhead like that, so it would stun them or bring them to the ground and not pin them 30 metres off the ground. So you imagine you haven't shot at a possum and you hit him with an arrow and you stick him to the tree. He's no good if he's way up a gum tree. So that was one guess. Someone else said a billiard cue, a little handle off a door. Our man's name, Neil Stevens.
Neil
Stevens, he's always good for a guess. He said it might be something to do with a ramrod for a muzzle loading gun. And I had a look up at ramrods, and the ramrods, when they put the black powder in, they put the black powder in, then they drop the lead ball in like that, the musket ball down, and then they use the ramrod to drive it tight so that when the black powder ignites, there's no space between the black powder and the ball, because if there's a space, that air that's between the black powder and the ball, it expands rapidly and it can blow the gun apart. So they've got to jam that ball right down on the black powder. So what they do use on the ramrod is a sharp end. It comes down and you'll see them, you see with the red coats and that, they'll be doing that as they drive it down. But what they sometimes use is a thing called a palm saver. That goes on the end of the ramrod. So instead of doing that, you bang it down like that, but you're not doing it on the shaft. So whether that's a palm saver, whether that's part of the ramrod that goes on the other end or not. I don't know. But they're our guesses. We're not sure who was right or who was wrong. I lean towards the fact that I don't think it's a pool cue that was out in the bush, that they were playing pool in the back room of their miner's hut. But it was a better guess than I had. Another bloke directed us to 18th century, he had a name for them, cartridges. I looked them up and they were very similar to that. So I really don't know, but it seems to me that the fact that that turns must have a purpose. That's our mystery object, still to be solved. Right, musket ball that we found.
Very nice.
And found a
Button.
off a miner's pants, a little button. We got a silver threepence. We got a halfpenny, part of a pocket knife. Ant's 5 cent, my 5 cent, a 1 cent coin. Corey Lewis. You'll see the tape jump around a bit, Corey, when you're talking about it, because I had to get out to cut your name out when I called you Corey. But I know it's Corey. I met you as Corey, and then Jennifer told me your name was Corey. Corey hasn't sorry, so sorry, Corey, that I bloody got it wrong. This buckle we found, I think it's a shoe buckle. I think it's so whether that's an 18th century shoe buckle, coffee bush kid, you'll know exactly what that is and say no, that's off braces or that's off garters or whatever. But there it is. It works and it's a good one.
Very nice.
Right, our Ant. Most important, weigh our gold up.
Let's do it.
We haven't got a relic an unsolved relic this week. Now, these scales are really good, but you've got to make sure you got them on a flat surface. Where we at, mate? Happy with that?
Yep.
Right out. Now, this is the first one that Ant was first out of the blocks, but you've got to remember this is not a competition because we both took the stones off together. Ant detected got a bit, I detected got a bit.
Yep. Solid teamwork.
Yeah,
Solid
so
teamwork.
this is teamwork effort. So this is the first bit we got.
0.65.
Which is a good start
That's
because
awesome.
I reckon this one in my hand's a little bit bigger.
0.65.
So that's the first one we got if you're watching.
Second one.
It's the second bit is
Just over a gram.
oh, you little ripper.
1.04.
So
Nice.
that should round up very nicely to I thought it might have made 1.7.
1.68.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah. So that's our
1.68. Very nice.
That's our goal for the day, simply by shifting stones.
Yep.
And sometimes, because we hadn't been out for a month, we wanted to find something. So it was no good going prospecting to a new spot. As I said, we got our gold. We've got 2 genuine coins of the era, of the gold mining era. The musket ball. What I think is a shoe buckle. Ant's miner's button. A small part of a pocket knife.
That's awesome. What a day.
That was last week in the same, or last month in the same area, the unsolved relic. 2 5s, a 1. Jamie Ryan put us on to checking out the backs of the shotgun shells. 22 shell. So that's our day, Ant.
Beautiful.
Now, Ant, we've got some news.
Yes.
We're going to have a raffle. S. Chapo.
Who was the winner of our 4K sub giveaway?
Yep, talk us through it, Ant.
Yeah, he contacted us on email and he was very grateful, thankful, and was rapt to be our winner. But he was also very gracious and wanted to share a bit of the kindness, and he wanted to throw the gold back out there. So S. Chapo suggested that we do a raffle for the gold nuggets. So we sent him the gift voucher, so he's got that for Lucky Strike. And
Good on your Lucky Strike.
yeah, cheers. Apparently he's already got himself a new coil. He's
Oh,
ordered a
great.
coil,
Well, that's
so
fantastic.
good.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, good for Lucky Strike, good for us, and good for Chavo.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is do a raffle, and all the proceeds are going to go to the Victorian flood appeal. So the way we're going to do it is we have a link in our description to a Ko-fi.com page where you can shout us a coffee. And what we're going to do is we're going to limit it to the first 100 people who we're going to try and raise $500. So 100 people in the raffle. Hopefully we'll get 100. We'll keep it open till the end of November.
Yep.
So you know, if we don't get 100 by then, we'll just.
If we
pull
don't
the
get 100,
raffle.
I'll kick in the rest, and we'll definitely donate 500 to the flood appeal.
Yeah.
So what we want you to do, as Ant said, get on that link, put $5 in with your name.
Yeah, $5. $5 a ticket.
Then Ant will write all the names out.
Yep. I'm gonna write them out. I'm gonna stick them all in this hat.
And I'll have these brawny arms, so nothing up my sleeves. Reach in.
That's it.
We'll show you all the names.
Yeah, we're
You
gonna
roughly
do it
say
all in the video.
Yeah, it's all above board.
Yep.
And the end result is
Glenn's gonna pick.
the winner. Yeah.
Glenn's gonna pick the winner out of the hat. Yeah.
So you'll lay out $5.
Yep.
And obviously most of you will be kissing your $5 goodbye, but it's not going to us, it's going to the flood relief. So
That's right,
you'll be
yeah.
happy that you've put $5 into the flood relief.
Yeah.
We'll be happy the flood relief has picked up 500. And don't forget the twins. They're nice little fellas.
right.
They're just
2.2
over a gram.
grams?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think it's
two
about
that just over a
2.2.
gram.
Yep.
In a really nice presentation case.
Yep.
So good odds, 1 out of 100. And even if you lose, you haven't wasted $5. You put
Yeah.
$5 into
Going to
people in the flood
good
appeal.
cause. And if you're in America, it's only $3.50 because we're talking about $5 So happy days, and you could get 2 gold nuggets.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and don't worry about if we don't get enough. We're going to round it up to 500, and we'll go from there.
And also, I just wanted to give Tom Shaw, Thomas Winchester, and Ruffy a shout out because these 3 blokes have already shouted us a coffee each. So what I'm going to do is add those names into the draw as well.
Yep.
So they're going to get into the draw just for being good blokes and shouting us a coffee. So Tom Shaw, Thomas Winchester, and Ruffy, you're in the draw already. So we've got 97 more people to enter in. So good luck everybody in the raffle, and yeah, we'll keep you updated with how it's going.
Now our last video tanked a bit. We don't know why.
It did, didn't it?
It did. It just didn't. It didn't take off. So we've panicked and got our new shirt. So I hope that turns around. Our next move is we get a female member of the team. So there's 3 of us. If Instagram has taught me anything, if you can introduce a female into the equation, you're going to get a lot more viewing.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I'll have to resort to that.
so good on you, Ant, for our tops.
You're welcome, mate. Welcome.
I'm thrilled by the tops, thrilled by the wind cheaters.
Yeah, great.
So we're looking good, feeling good, and get your mates to watch next time. And we only got, we say only, we got over 2,000 views, but we like to get above 4,000 views. So we don't know what
Took
went wrong.
a while to get to the 2,000.
Yeah, it did. It just crept along. It was always in strife. I don't know whether it's because we put it up and took it down or whatever, but it was always in strife. So yeah, when we get Dolores, our new female member, with us.
We're at 50,000.
Right, man.
All right, thanks again, mate. Great
Gold,
day.
silver, copper, relics,
You name it.
11 cents,
11 cents.
a lot of laughs,
Fantastic day.
a
Thanks,
good day.
mate.
Next
Always a
weekend,
pleasure.
next time, Ant. Good on you, mate.
See you, mate.
See you, Ant.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.